Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And first day of August, and it felt like it out there, didn't it? Very warm temperatures all across north central Washington as we take a look at our beautiful shot this afternoon out at the Wenatchee Valley from our Omi Gardens Sky-Fi Tower camera, looking down at some of the beautiful orchards along the Columbia River and crystal clear skies out there today. Lots of sunshine with temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s around most of our viewing area. The thing we got to watch for now the next 24 hours or so, fire weather watch. In fact, from tomorrow night from about 11 o'clock until Friday morning at 11 o'clock, we have the potential for multiple fire starts. We could see some isolated lightning. That's mainly in that lighter colored map that you see right there on your screen, mainly in the Wilbur area up by Republic. You folks in Moses Lake, you might see some of that tonight. Also, windy condition, breezy winds, not so much tonight for us in the Wenatchee Valley, but tomorrow we could see wind gusts between 20 and 25 miles an hour. And we will talk much more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. As we reported last night, a high-speed police pursuit ended Wednesday when the suspect crashed his car at an East Wenatchee restaurant. We have more details on that tonight. The August 6th primary hasn't generated a lot of interest in Chelan and Douglas counties, judging from the number of ballots returned thus far. And for the 7th straight month, unemployment in the Wenatchee metro area has gone up. But first, we begin tonight. Fire crews moved quickly Wednesday on a fast-moving fire that broke out about 5 miles north of Winthrop. The Rendezvous fire was first reported about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and local, state, and federal firefighters were able to get it under control by 9 o'clock last night. By that time, it had burned about 140 acres of mostly brushy hillside. Level 1 evacuation notices were issued for homes in the Cub Creek area, and both Rendezvous Road and West Chewuk Road were closed. No homes or structures were damaged. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Well, a high-speed pursuit ended Wednesday when the suspect crashed his car at an East Wenatchee restaurant. The chase started in Wenatchee when police responded to a report of a reckless driver in the vicinity of Okanagan and Ferry Streets. Captain Edgar Reinfeld takes over the narrative from there.
Our officers picked it up right away on the vehicle running at a high rate of speed down Ferry. There's a lot of cross streets. It's all residential right against that arterial. It's a really dangerous situation. Officer gave chase, tried to get him stopped. Vehicle went down to Mission, cut over the George Siller Bridge, and went eastbound on the bridge, still at a high rate of speed. People, evading hard to get out of the way to not get hit. Vehicle continued to Grant Road and then turned up Grant Road and was just driving through red lights at a high rate of speed still. Our officer dropped back, was just going to stop any sort of pursuit that had started because it was not working. It's not safe to try to end it. When the driver cut to the right slightly, going east on Grant Road, and then hard left into the parking lot at a restaurant up there, I believe in the 700 block of Grant Road, and smashed into their dumpster enclosure, the masonry wall, wrecked his car out, sustained some injuries, and was taken into custody there and then for medical evaluation. So as far as we know, there were no other vehicles hit, no other structures hit, no injuries to any person except the driver at this point, and charges are pending the resolution of some medical issues.
The name of the suspect has been withheld until charges are filed. Well, if you haven't voted yet, you're not alone. The August 6th primary hasn't generated a lot of interest in Chelan and Douglas counties, judging from the number of ballots returned thus far. The election features 2 sales tax measures proposed by Rivercom and Link Transit, as well as contested mayor, city council, and school board positions. But Douglas County Auditor Thad Duvall says less than a quarter of the mail-in ballots have been returned as of Wednesday afternoon.
So far, we've got about 20% of our ballots returned. It's a little over around 4,500 ballots back in. We mailed out a little over 22,000. And so we're going to need a little bit of a push here at the end to get up to 40 or 50%. We usually do get a little bit higher return the last week of the election, so we'll see what happens. We encourage everyone to vote.
Duval has predicted a 40% voter turnout when all the returns are in. Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore predicts a 50% turnout. He reports 21% of the over 46,400 ballots that were mailed out have been returned as of this morning. Make sure to mail in your ballot before the August 6th deadline or put it in a ballot drop box. They're located in front of the courthouse or City Hall. Then make NCWLIFE your go-to site for election night results starting at 8 p.m. next Tuesday. Well, for the 7th straight month, unemployment in the Wenatchee metro area has gone up. That's the latest report from the State Employment Security Department. The Wenatchee area unemployment rate in June rose 0.6% from 3.8% in June of 2018 to 4.4% this past June. However, year over year, the Wenatchee market labor force has been expanding for 24 months in a row. Between the Junes of 2018 and 19, the Wenatchee civilian labor force has increased 3.4%, meaning there were 2,397 more residents in the labor force this year compared to 2018. Coming up next, as the Gorge Amphitheater prepares to host one of its biggest events of the year, the Grant County Sheriff's Office has some friendly advice for concert goers. Yesterday, in honor of Harry Potter's birthday, the North Central Regional Library hosted an event at the Local Tel Event Center at Pybus Public Market. And the town of Eniad is celebrating its 100th birthday this weekend. We'll tell you more about that. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Welcome back. In another news, yesterday, in honor of Harry Potter's birthday, the North Central Regional Library hosted an event at the Local Tel Event Center at Pybus Public Market, where hundreds of fans of all ages gathered to celebrate.
Today we're celebrating Harry Potter's 39th birthday. This is our 4th annual birthday party we host from the library, this year at Pybus. So it's a massive hit. I don't know, I'm a little in shock still. Right now we're up to 300. We average about 300. We've got a lot going on, so there's house sorting, there's birthday cake, there's a photo area, we've got wand craft, cactus craft, a movie showing, chess, Jenga, coloring, all sorts of stuff. This is one of personally my favorite events. Harry Potter means a lot to me, so I'm really happy that I get to do this as part of my job and that I get to bring out so many members of the community to come celebrate with me. So. No, I just enjoy it quite a bit.
My favorite Harry Potter character is Ginny Weasley. The owl? My favorite Harry Potter character is Harry Potter.
My favorite Harry Potter character is Harry Potter.
Hermione.
Harry.
Harry Potter.
Hermione. I like Luna Lovegood. I don't really know who I like, but I like all the characters. I like Norbert.
My favorite Harry Potter character has to be Sirius Black.
Probably Lupin.
Mine is Severus Snape.
Definitely Buckbeak.
Crookshanks. Hermione Granger. Harry Potter. I guess Hermione.
My favorite Harry Potter character is Oliver Wood.
The town of Entiat will hold a gathering this Saturday to celebrate 100 years of graduating classes and small town tradition. NCWLIFE's Kyle Montgomery has more on one of Entiat's most famous landmarks.
The town of Entiat will collect this Saturday at the Entiat City Park for a high school alumni gathering to celebrate 100 years of graduating classes in the small town. One of the most unique features of the Entiat Valley you have more than likely passed by on your way down State Route 97 is Numeral Mountain, a landmark located next to the Entiat School on top of the Columbia River that graduating classes paint their numbers on upon graduation. For nearly 100 years, graduating classes have left their mark on the rock as a way to both preserve tradition and leave their mark on the community. Lifelong Entiat resident and class of 1957 graduate Peggy Whitmore sat down with NCWLIFE to discuss the tradition of the historic small-town landmark.
First of all, in my time, girls definitely didn't go up and do it. And the tradition was for you to camp out overnight up there once you got your number painted so the juniors wouldn't come up and smear it out. So it was, but that's kind of gone by the wayside now too for safety purposes and that sort of thing.
Whitmore added that although some outsiders have been vocal about the defacing of the mountain, the Entiat community remains loyal to its tradition.
There have been a couple of things, and one of the things about our community is we're very loyal to tradition and history of our community, and when somebody wants to take it away, it gets very vocal sometimes.
Entiat Community Historical Society president and class of 1956 graduate Wayne Long says that the numbers on the mountain go as far back as 1920, although this wasn't the first year a class left their imprint on the landmark.
The first number that was put up there was from the graduating class of 1923, and I'm having a difficult time finding it. But in the past, and I don't know how many years ago it was, they elected to put the year 20, 21, and 22.
The mountain still contains plenty of space for future classes to leave their mark on, and Entiat residents hope another 100 years of tradition will be preserved on Numeral Mountain. With NCWLIFE, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
I told Mr. Nielsen about Simon. He's the best doctor because I like the medicines like he gives me.
He asks like more questions, and that's why I feel like he's more interested in the health. For me, it means a lot. That means he really cares about, about him.
I like you, Simon, and you're my best friend.
Dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Time now for our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Tonight, NCWLIFE's Megan McPherson introduces us to Iris the Husky.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCWLIFE channel. We're here with Iris and Jenny, the volunteer coordinator at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Can you tell us about Iris?
Yes, this sweet girl came to us a few months ago. She was actually found in a canal, and some people brought her in to us. She's about 2 years old. She's a favorite of one of our volunteers here that takes her out hiking. She's gone to the farmer's market, down to the river. The longer we have her, the more attached she's become to the people around here. She's actually just a real sweetheart. She's working hard here in our behavior program, so she's doing really well on a leash. She is husky. She does have a tendency to be able to jump fences, so she should be in a place with at least a 6-foot fence. She seems to be liking kids. She's a really great gal. We adore Iris here.
And how is she with dogs and cats?
Dogs, she's good with male dogs here. She does pairs here at the shelter with male dogs. We don't know how she is with female dogs. She seems to have a stronger personality. Cats, she does chase, so that should be noted.
And if someone's interested in adopting her, what should they do?
They should come on down to the Humane Society and meet Iris, and she is available to go home today if they want her.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get to those details, let's once again take a beautiful look outside our weather window in this shot from our Omi Garden Sky-Fi Tower camera, looking across the river over at Highway 97 and Orondo, and all those clear skies out there today made for a very warm day. And it was like that all over North Central Washington. 91 our unofficial high temperature this afternoon, and that above where we should be for this time of year. 89 is normal, right in the ballpark, exactly where we should be for overnight low at 63. A warm one back in 2009, 107 our record high, record low 51 in 1987. Sunrise this morning was at 5:39, and the sun will set tonight at 8:35. Before we get into your weekend forecast and for next week, it's going to be a hot one. Let's take a look at your Friday weather forecast around our viewing area. The warm spot, as always, will be Moses Lake tomorrow. 92 degrees, 91 in Ephrata. We should see about 87. A little bit cooler for most of us tomorrow. 86 in Leavenworth, 88 in both Eniat and up in Chelan, and a little bit warmer for you folks in Omak at 90 degrees. As we take a look at our surface loop, a weak cold front will move through. That'll happen late tonight. You can see the system right here. We'll see a west breeze as it moves through. It will slide up into southern British Columbia over the next 24 hours. It won't, unfortunately, bring us any precipitation, maybe some dry lightning in parts of Washington, but here's our weather for Friday. Most of the wind will stay to our north, even though we will see a steady west wind between 5 and 15 miles an hour, and maybe a gust of wind at times of 22. And then things just quiet down for Saturday and our upcoming weekend. We'll see sunny skies, light winds, and warm temperatures. Warm air still circulating around this large area of high pressure right here, and it's not going anywhere, folks. In fact, it's just going to intensify as we get into Sunday and make our way into the first part of next week, and especially first part into the middle part of next week. The Weather Service, right before we came on, ticked our temperatures up a little bit. So by Monday, we could be talking temperatures between 95 and 100 degrees, possibly 100 for most of us here in north central and eastern Washington. Tuesday, still hot. Once again, temperatures predicted to be almost 99 degrees as we get into Tuesday. And that goes for all over the western United States, back into Montana, and even back down into Kansas, Nebraska. It's going to be hot from the central U.S. all the way to the west coast. Wednesday, yeah, more of the same. Sunny and hot. Look how dark this is by Wednesday. That means most of us could see temperatures hovering right around 100 degrees as we make our way into the middle of next week. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune 7-day forecast. How about that for an overnight low? 68 degrees tonight, 87 tomorrow with that cold front moving through. It will be a bit breezy. 89 for Saturday, 93 on Sunday. And as I mentioned, the Weather Service ticked our temperatures up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those temperatures may be too low. We may be talking temperatures by next week between 95 and 100 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community. And that's pretty useful for everyone. Make plans to attend the August 30th grand opening of the all-new Goodwill on Columbia Center Boulevard in Kennewick.
Hi everyone, this is Brent Crowder. After 13 years with the Town Auto Group, I have returned home to Town Toyota where it all started. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, let me help you find the right one at the right price. Toyota is reliable and trustworthy, and you can count on me to be the same. When it comes to buying your next car, you can't go wrong with Toyota and Crowder. Ask for Brent at Town Toyota or call me now at 888-5000.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Thursday to you. Brett Garcia and 3 relievers combined on a 5-hit shutout of Cascade Collegiate in a 13-0 win for Wenatchee last night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman, has more.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox took care of business and defeated the Cascade Collegiate League Showcase 13-0 on Wednesday night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The Apple Sox had runs early and often and picked up the lead to improve to 5-0, winning all 5 of their non-league games. Now the attention turns to this weekend as the Apple Sox take on the Yakima Valley Pippins. Wenatchee, pending the result of the Cowlitz-Victoria game, is still tied for first place and looking to improve on that and get back into the postseason for the first time since 2013. An off day on Thursday, but back in action Friday night at 6:35. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you much, Joel. We'll tell you about Victoria coming up in a moment. Garcia, by the way, phenomenal on the mound last night for Wenatchee, allowing no runs, 1 hit, 12 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Peter Sanchez relieved for 2 innings, allowing just a hit and striking out 2. Finally, normal position players finished things on the mound. Ryan Altenberger and Cody Colden pitched the final 2 innings. At the plate, Brett Gillis was 2 for 5 with a run and an RBI. Dalton Harum also had a 2-hit night with 2 runs. Wenatchee's off until Friday. It'll host Yakima Valley in the first of a 3-game series at 6:35. Now, Chase Meadroth's RBI single in the bottom of the 10th gave Victoria a walk-off 5-4 win over Cowlitz last night. The win propelled the Harbor Cats a half game in front of Wenatchee in the West Coast League's North Division race. Cole Hinkleman had 2 two-run home runs and led Bellingham to a 8-1 win over Ridgefield. C.J. Varela and 2 relievers combined to keep the Raptors to 1 run on 5 hits with 10 strikeouts. Port Angeles also a winner down in Kelowna 4-1 behind 7 innings of 1-run ball thrown by Joe Kinski. Baxter Halligan did the damage at the plate, going 2 for 4 with a run and 2 RBIs. Bryler Knight went 3 for 4 with 3 runs and 3 ribbies to lead Corvallis over Bend 8-1. The Knights now 33-10 on the season. Chase Luttrell was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs in a losing effort as the Portland Pickles fell to Walla Walla 5-3. And in another non-league game last night, Luke Schwartz RBI single in the bottom of the 10th gave Yakima Valley an 8-7 walk-off win over Highline. The win snapped the Pippins' 3-game losing streak as they next head to Wenatchee on Friday. Speaking of which, we'll have Saturday's middle game of that 3-game set here on the NCWLIFE channel. So tune in live with yours truly, 6:15 with a pregame, first pitch at 6:35. We'll take a look at the updated standings of the WCL's North Division with the Harbor Cats winning last night. Victoria now leads Wenatchee in the second half standings by a half game. Port Angeles is lurking behind the Apple Sox, 2 games back at 10-7. Yakima Valley 5 games out, while Bellingham is 5.5 games back. Now overall, again, if Victoria repeats as division winners in the second half like they did in the first half, second half playoff spot goes to the team with the next best overall record right now. That's Wenatchee at 24-21. But Bellingham just a game back at 22-21. The lefties are also not out of it, trailing Wenatchee by 3 games at 20-23. If you'd like to get an autograph from an Apple Sox player, you can do so this Sunday. The entire team will be at Pybus Public Market Sunday from 12:30 to 1:30, signing this year's team poster. There's also a chance to win prizes with a raffle of Apple Sox tickets and an autographed Marco Gonzalez hat, free to the public, sponsored by Parsons Photography, Sunny FM, and that will happen at Pybus Market on Sunday. Well, the Mariners made quite a few moves prior to the trade deadline yesterday, including trading away pitcher Mike Leake in the final seconds. Leake went to Arizona for minor league infielder Jose Cabarrillo. Seattle also dealt relievers Roenis Elias and Hunter Strickland to the Washington Nationals for 3 minor league pitchers. General Manager Jerry DiPoto says it turned out well for Seattle.
Really excited about all 3 of those arms in addition to Jose Caballero, but it's rare that you get a chance to fill in a lot of prospect depth in a system in one day. So we're pretty pumped, and to do it at so many different levels. We're pretty fired up about being able to do that. I think having the one deadline really, it forced people to think very clearly through what they wanted to do. By people, I mean the other clubs, whether they wanted to buy or whether they wanted to sell or hold. That I think what wound up happening is the teams at the top of the food chain who clearly wanted to buy and the teams who clearly wanted to sell were caught in a hold.
Well, the biggest buyer at the trade deadline yesterday, the Houston Astros, they traded away their farms. 6-time All-Star Zach Greinke is now an Astro, and they also picked up right-handers Aaron Sanchez and Joe Biagini and catcher Martin Maldonado. On the field Wednesday, the Mariners lost a seesaw battle with Texas 9-7 to see their 6-game winning streak come to an end. Despite home runs from Austin Nola and Keon Broxton, that is, Seattle couldn't hold an early lead. Wade LeBlanc had a rough outing on the mound, lasted just 4 1/3, allowed 6 runs on 10 hits, including a couple of home runs to Shin-Soo Choo and Willie Calhoun. Mariners will remain in the low star state today with a day off. They'll take on the Houston Astros tomorrow at 5:10. Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for Seattle. Wade Miley will go for Houston. Also in the American League West last night, Mike Trout's 35th home run of the season. Not enough. That was the Angels' only run as they fell to the Tigers 6-1. Roberto Perez hit 2 home runs as Cleveland clobbered Houston 10-4. The Brewers bounced back from a walk-off night the night before. They edged the Athletics 4-2. And news out of day 6 of Seahawks training camp is not necessarily good. First, there was a fight today between offensive guard Ethan Posick and defensive tackle Jaron Reed. Coach Pete Carroll had to kick both out of practice and said it was a good example of what can hurt a team.
A couple guys got thrown out of practice today, and it's really important for us to recognize how devastating that can be. In a game when you only got so many guys and you lose one position, it could change the whole complexion of the game for you, and we cannot resort to that at any time. So I was pleased to throw them out and find them in the whole thing. For me, it's one of those opportunities, a teachable moment there to say, okay, this is how we did this, and say if I was telling them that this was the first half, we're behind. We're not ahead in this game. We had a couple turnovers and we had some penalties that stopped some big plays. So now it's halftime. What are we going to do about it? And we use this opportunity to practice what it takes to get back on course. And so tomorrow will be the day that we'll do that, and we'll see if we can really sharpen it up tomorrow.
Coach Carroll also said they got unfortunate news about defensive end L.J. Collier. He has an unusual ankle sprain, going to be out for a while. Seattle hosts Denver a week from today. Speaking of Denver, they help kick off the season with a Hall of Fame game tonight in Canada, Ohio with the Atlanta Falcons. That's sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. We leave you tonight with video shot by Washington State Patrol Trooper Clint Thompson. He captured this on his dash cam Thursday of a plane making an emergency landing on a busy street in Parkland. The plane's fuel system malfunctioned while flying from Yelm to Boeing Field in Seattle, but stopped perfectly at the stoplight on Pacific Avenue. After the plane landed perfectly at that stoplight, by the way, Thompson and the pilot pushed the plane into a nearby parking lot. Unbelievable video, isn't it? And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. Remember to tune into Wake Up Wenatchee Valley tomorrow morning with your host, Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.